Hi students, I am Dr. Bhavana. In this lecture we are going to deal about a topic called as animal kingdom. In our community we see so many animals. How are they? What is their structure? That all we will see in it animal kingdom only. So numerous animals we generally see. Normally unicellular organisms or multicellular organisms. Suppose in unicellular organisms we see only one single cell. Only one single cell performs all the activity like respiration, digestion, all are by only single cell. When it comes to multicellular organisms, numerous cells will be present. Numerous cells when they are present, like our human beings, we have one cell for one type of thing. Like one is for respiration and one is for digestion and all. So numerous cells are present. But we human beings, we have multicellular. So we differentiate numerous animals based on their structure as well as their organization. Wherever we see some unicellular organisms, some multicellular organisms. Like that numerous structures we see and we are able to differentiate. How we are able to differentiate between the organisms? We are able to differentiate between the organisms by a simple thing that is called as classification of organisms. That is, one organism, one cell perform one function, other cell perform other function. Based on this classification only basically plays a very important role. So in this animal kingdom basically we see classification of organisms. So in this classification of organisms, first when we start with classification, so mainly there are organisms that are called as sponges. Sponges, they play a very important role in unicellular organisms. They are unicellular. Multicellular means numerous cells will be present. So sponges, basically when we start with the classification of different things, the first one is sponges. They come under the phylum that is called as Porifera. Next we will discuss about that. So one is about sponges. Next classification is coelenterate. Coelenterate. Then comes into play Platyhelminthes. Then finally there is one fourth that is called as annelids, arthropods, mollusks. All this will come under fourth classification. Annelids, arthropods as well as mollusks. So sponges, coelentrates, platyhelminthes. One classification is sponges, another one is coelentrates, the third thing is platyhelminthes, fourth one is annelids, arthropods as well as mollusks. These four are the major things which you can easily differentiate in the classification mainly. So basically in the sponges, first when we start with sponges, what classification they exhibit, that is they are categorized under what? First, initially cells plays a very important role. Numerous cells. When these all cells are combined together, then they form tissues. When numerous tissues combine together, they form organs. When numerous organs combine, they form organ system. So cells, tissues, organs and organ systems. Four types. This is only the basic classification, like how you will get. First means numerous cells will be present in an organism because they are multicellular. When all the cells combine, they form tissue. When numerous tissues combine, they form organs. When all the organs act together, like numerous organs like respiration, heart, everything, these organs will act together. That's why we are able to survive. That full contributes to organ system. So numerous tissues, numerous tissues when they are organized, they only form the lungs. Like that when numerous tissues are organized, they form the heart. Like that cells, tissues, organs as well as organ system. All the four types are present: cells, tissues, organs, as well as organ systems. When these four are combined together, this full constitutes the organ system. So basically, by this only we are able to categorize these into different types. Suppose sponges, this is the least phylum. Least phylum means what? They are first phylum which you are able to differentiate, and they are always marine, these sponges are. So the least level of classification they come under. Why they come under least level? Because they are cellular type of organization will be there. So cellular organization, sponges. When it comes to coelentrates, they exhibit tissue level of organization. Tissue. When it comes to platyhelminthes as well as annelids, arthropods, mollusks, platyhelminthes they exhibit organ system level of organization. When it comes to annelids, arthropods as well as mollusks, they exhibit organ system. So basically this is one classification. So till now what we have done? We have learnt about how you are able to differentiate between the organisms. That is how you are able to differentiate based on cells first. There may be unicellular organisms in the world as well as multicellular organisms. All will come majority under multicellular only. So basically first is sponges. Sponges, they exhibit cellular level of organization. When it comes to coelentrates, they exhibit tissue level of organization. When it comes to platyhelminthes, they exhibit organs level of organization. Next, annelids, arthropods, mollusks. This is very important point in NEET point of view, because they'll ask numerous questions related to this, like organ system, organ, tissues as well as cells. They ask numerous questions based on this. So cellular, tissue, organ as well as organ system. First main classification which you should remember. As well as there are two types of circulatory system basically. So in the type of circulatory system when it comes, they exhibit two types of circulatory system. One is open type of circulatory system as well as closed type. Open type as well as closed type. In open type of circulatory system, the blood will flow into the open spaces. Like how we have discussed for cockroach, blood will flow into open spaces, the blood will flow, numerous blood will flow into open spaces. So this is called open type of circulatory system, mostly exhibited by cockroach. Which organism exhibit open type of circulatory system? Means cockroaches exhibit open type of circulatory system. When it comes to closed type of circulatory system, in closed type of circulatory system is exhibited by the numerous annelids, arthropods, everything. That is blood flow into numerous heart as well as numerous blood vessels. Heart as well as blood vessels. Blood will flow. Whereas in open type of circulatory system, it will flow into open spaces. Whereas in closed type of circulatory system, it will flow into heart, then into blood vessels as well as numerous. See, open type of circulatory system is exhibited only by cockroach. Remember this important NEET question. Open type is exhibited by only cockroaches. They will have numerous sinuses and blood will flow into them. When it comes to closed type of circulatory system, heart as well as blood vessels, they exhibit closed type of circulatory system. Is exhibited by heart and blood vessels. What are all the organisms which exhibit closed type of circulatory system? Is nothing but annelids, arthropods, mollusks. These all exhibit closed type of circulatory system. So till now we have discussed one classification that is related to what are the types of tissues that are associated with it, as well as open and closed type of circulatory system. Next main difference comes for a notochord is present basically, a notochord. What is this notochord? First we will deal in this chapter like series wise, like how we will see. First we will see what are the structures that are associated. When you get used to the structures, then we will deal about the different types of phyla that are associated with it. So basically in this type of classification, mainly, so notochord. What is this notochord? Notochord is a dorsal mesodermally derived organ that is present on the dorsal side. A mesodermally derived organ, mesodermally derived organ that is present on the dorsal side. It is how it is in shape. Notochord is always a rod-like structure. Notochord means nothing but vertebral column. It is mostly present in first in younger, that is in embryonic stage it is present, notochord. Basically it is present in embryonic stage. Important point to remember. Notochord is present in embryonic stage and it is mesodermally derived organ that is present on the dorsal side. If you want to first differentiate what is notochord, you should first start with what is notochord means. It is a rod-like structure that is mesodermally derived organ that is present on the dorsal side. If notochord is present, they are called as chordates. If notochord is absent, they are called as non-chordates. Simple difference. If notochord is present, then they are called as chordates. If notochord is absent, then they are called as non-chordates. So chordates, only very few are present, that we will deal next. Notochords means, non-chordates means what? Like from porifera to echinoderms, all are non-chordates only. Whereas chordates, we will see in the next thing what are chordates and what are the examples that are related. But for now you remember what are non-chordates. All the classification from now, whatever we deal, that all comes under non-chordates only. Those all come under non-chordates, means from porifera to echinodermata. Porifera is nothing but sponges. So porifera to echinodermata, all will come under non-chordates. So another difference which we have learned that is related to classification is, first is cellular level, tissue level, organ system. How we have dealt? Numerous cells are organized to form tissues, then again they are organized to form organs, then organs to organ systems. Like that, in this classification also, in the embryonic stage, basically in embryonic stage. So notochord is nothing but a mesodermally derived organ that is present on the dorsal side. How it is in the shape? It is rod-like structure, means nothing but it is mostly present during embryonic stage. Later stages it is not developed fully. But if it is present, it is called as chordates. If they are absent, only present in the embryonic stage, and later they are absent, means they are called as non-chordates. What are the examples that are related to that? Are porifera to echinodermata, whatever we see, that is porifera, coelentrates, platyhelminthes, as well as annelids, arthropods. These all will come under non-chordates itself. So this is about the another classification that is related to notochord. Next when we come, next we will see about metamerization or segmentation. What is metamerization or segmentation? So basically in the segmentation part, suppose the body is divided externally as well as internally into numerous segments for some organisms. Suppose think this is an organism. So numerous they are divided, like numerous segments they are divided. So they are called as metameres. Metameres. In these metameres, these only exhibit a process that is called as segmentation process. Means the body is divided into external or internal. Internally also the body is divided into segments. Externally also it is divided. So that is called as about segmentation. So what are these segments called? These segments are nothing but they are called as metameres. Numerous in earthworm, there are about 100 to 150 segments. Suppose this is an earthworm, about 100 to 150 metameres are present. We already have discussed in earthworm what are the metameres that are associated as well as how many segments are present. So like that numerous metameres are present if the body is divided into numerous segments. So in these metameres, earthworm exhibits example of a classic segmentation body. Important neat question. Example of a classic segmentation body, that is metameres, is nothing but earthworm. Example is earthworm. So this is about the metameres as well as earthworm as well as segmentation. Segmentation means simply you should remember about earthworm. That is only the main point you should remember. Next comes next we will see about diploblastic as well as triploblastic animals. What is this diploblastic, triploblastic animals? When we come into the classification of diploblastic animals, diploblastic as well as triploblastic, by name only we can understand. Diploblastic means what? Only two layers are present. Normally in a animal body, there are three layers that are associated with it. One is ectoderm, another one is endoderm. If the third layer is present between the ectoderm as well as endoderm, it is called as mesoderm. Then it is triploblastic animals. Suppose think this is outer ectoderm. One important outermost layer is ectoderm. Another important innermost layer is endoderm. Ectoderm is outer, endoderm is inner. So this is the ectoderm, this is endoderm. What are the diploblastic animals? What are the examples of diploblastic animals? Examples of diploblastic animals are nothing but coelentrates, which I have discussed. Sponges, they are not diploblastic or triploblastic. So leave about the sponges. Next what we have discussed is about coelentrates. So in the coelentrates, coelentrates are diploblastic animals. Remember the important point. Coelentrates means diploblastic, that is two layers are present, that is ectoderm as well as endoderm, that is associated with it. So coelentrates, examples of diploblastic animals, important question. This animal kingdom is very important for you. Why it is very important is numerous questions are asked in NEET regarding this classification only. So classification you should concentrate, as well as next when we deal with a different type of phyla also. All the examples are important. Numerous scientific names you will come under this animal kingdom. So that is very important for you. So in the triploblastic animals, same like this. Ectoderm as well as endoderm is present. This is ectoderm as well as middle is endoderm. Middle layer also is present, that is nothing but mesoderm, or we say it as mesoglia. Mesoderm or mesoglia. So mesoderm or else mesoglia. That's why they are called as triploblastic animals. Diploblastic means ectoderm, endoderm. Triploblastic means ectoderm, endoderm as well as mesoderm. What are the examples of triploblastic animals? Examples of triploblastic animals are Platyhelminthes. From Platyhelminthes to echinoderms, all are triploblastic only. Only diploblastic animals are coelentrates. Cnidarians as well as coelentrates. Only those two are coming under diploblastic animals. When it comes to Mesoderm or Mesoglia, they are called as triploblastic. Examples of triploblastic are nothing but echinoderms, from Platyhelminthes to echinoderms, all. Platyhelminthes to echinoderms. Don't get so much confused with all these. I have told it in a very simple way. First, you should remember the classification initially. I have told you sponges will be there. Next Platyhelminthes, next coelentrates, then Platyhelminthes, then annelids and arthropods. First remember it in an order. Next, when you come to classification, cellular type of organization is exhibited by first one. Second one, coelentrates, they exhibit tissue level. The third and fourth one, they both exhibit what? They exhibit tissue level of organization. Tissue, next organ system, in an order you have done it. So that is about the level of organization. Next we have discussed about the notochord that is associated. Simple one. Notochord means a dorsal side it is present, a rod-like structure that is present in the embryonic stage. That is called as notochord. So basically in the notochord, if notochord is present, they are called as chordates. If they are absent, they are called as non-chordates. From first one, that is from sponges, to the last one, all are non-chordates only. So no need to get confused about that. Next we have dealt about segmentation. So in the segmentation, basically the body is divided into numerous segments. They are nothing but they are called as metameres. So earthworm exhibits segmentation. That's all, simple. The fourth level of organization in the classification what we have seen is diploblastic as well as triploblastic animals. Only coelentrates are diploblastic, remember, only coelentrates. Rest all are triploblastic. So diploblastic means what? Only two layers are present, that is ectoderm as well as endoderm. When it comes to triploblastic, outer ectoderm, endoderm as well as mesoderm. Three layers are present, mesoglia. Rest all are this one. So this, now it is clear for you all. Next classification we will see about what is the structural organization, that is symmetry. Symmetry means what? By name only we can understand related to symmetry. So symmetry means nothing but how the body is divided into equal halves or not. That is only symmetry. We all human beings are symmetrical. That is right side as well as left side remains the same. Like that for animals also there will be symmetry that is associated. All the sponges, that is first classification, that is all sponges, they are asymmetrical organisms. Asymmetrical. Asymmetrical means what? They are not symmetrical. That is, if you divide them into two halves, they will not be similar to each other. So they are called as asymmetrical animals. Next, when it comes to coelentrates, coelentrates are radially symmetrical animals. Radially symmetrical means what? Radially symmetrical means, suppose this is a coelentrate. So when you divide it into two halves in any plane, that is you divide like this or like this or like this, both will remain same. Any two parts will resemble in a similar manner. You can divide it into numerous planes. All planes you can divide. That is called as radial symmetry. Next, when it comes to coelentrate, next when it comes to Platyhelminthes, Platyhelminthes as well as annelids, arthropods, all the classification, annelids, arthropods, as well as mollusks. Numerous, they are bilaterally symmetrical animals. Bilaterally symmetrical. What is bilaterally symmetrical? Bilaterally symmetrical means if you divide it in only one plane, they can resemble both halves. Suppose you draw one organism, and if you divide it into straight plane, only in one plane they resemble each other. When it comes to radially symmetrical means in any plane they resemble same. You can divide them into any plane, but they will resemble same when it comes to radially symmetrical. What are the organisms? What are the examples? Means second classification. First classification of sponges is they are asymmetrical animals. Means there is no symmetry for them. When it comes to coelentrates, they are radially symmetrical animals. That is, it is divided into numerous halves, numerous planes they are getting divided. When it comes to platyhelminthes, annelids, arthropods, mollusks, these all are bilaterally symmetrical animals. That is, they can be divided into two halves only in one plane. Radially symmetrical, they can be divided into two halves in any plane. So, this is the fourth classification which we have done. We have done about cellular type of organization. Next we have done about notochord. Next we have done about different segments. Then we have done about diploblastic as well as triploblastic animals, as well as their examples, and how the cells will become tissues, tissues will become organs, then how the organs will become the organ system. Next, last classification which we have seen is about sponges, that is symmetry. We have seen about symmetry. Symmetry means they are asymmetrical animals, the first classification. Second is radially symmetrical. Third is bilaterally symmetrical. So three different types: symmetrical, asymmetry, radially symmetry, bilaterally symmetrical. So this is about the different symmetries that are associated with it. Next, when you come, the last classification which you are going to see is about a coelom that is associated. Coelom. Coelom means what? It is a space that is present between the body wall and the gut wall. Between the body wall, suppose this is body wall, and this is the gut that is present, gut wall. So there should be some space that is present between these two. If the space is present between, that is body cavity that is present between the body wall and gut wall, cavity if it is present, then it is called as coelom. What is coelom means? The cavity that is present between the body wall as well as gut wall, means the space that is present between the body wall and gut wall is called as coelom. So in coelom there are three types again. If the coelom is present, then they are called as coelomates. Coelomates. If they are absent, they are called as acoelomates. As well as acoelomates as well as coelomates. So this is also a mesodermally derived structure. Anything if they ask in NEET related to this, anything are mesodermally derived only because they are later developed. That's why you should say anything that is related to which derm, that is ectoderm or endoderm or mesoderm, try to maximum answer it is mesoderm only. So acoelomates, and in coelomates also there is pseudocoelom as well as original coelom. Pseudo as well as original. So in this pseudocoelom as well as normal coelom, what are the examples that are associated with the coelomates? So in the acoelomates, the main example that is associated is Asclepias. Asclepias. They are nothing but roundworms that are associated with it. Acoelomates are Asclepias. Example, main thing you should remember about this is they are roundworms, as well as coelom is absent for them. That's why we call it as acoelomates. But if pseudocoelom means what? Mesodermally derived structure is present in them. That's why they are called as pseudocoelomates. Mesoderm is present in between them. That's why they are called as pseudocoelomates. And the example that is related to pseudocoelomates is Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes are pseudocoelomates. When it comes to coelomates, that is, coelom is present in them. That is, a body cavity is present between the body wall as well as gut wall. All the organisms will come under coelomates. If it is absent, means they are roundworms, that is Aschelminthes. If there is false coelom that is associated with it, it is called as Platyhelminthes, and it is a mesodermally derived structure. So this is the main classification which we have dealt. Mainly in the coelom there are two types, that is coelomates as well as acoelomates. Acoelomates means AA, you can remember, that is Aschelminthes, that is roundworms that are associated. Next is coelomates. Again they have coelom, originally it is present. Pseudocoelom means a mesoderm only falsely appears as a pseudocoelom. So base a mesoderm structure. Examples I have already told you, Aschelminthes. All the organisms that are associated are these, and pseudocoelomates are Platyhelminthes. So today we have done about what are the levels of organization, what are the different types of classification we have dealt. Next we will start about, once we will revise in the next class the brief. I'll give you a flowchart regarding this, and we will start with the different types of phylum that are associated. Okay.